Welcome into the Toyota Winners Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. Woo! This is the DNVR Avalanche Postgame Show, presented by Bet365. We got Big E and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs defeat the LA Kings 4-2 in a weird game. It was a bit of a weird one. Not that it wasn't good, at least the second two periods were good from Colorado, but not your standard win, I would say. Not your run-and-gun style, high-octane Avalanche hockey win. Not that they weren't good. They dominated the second two periods. But, yeah, I don't know. Eric, have you ever been in a game like that where you struggle to even get shots on goal for two full periods if you're LA?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say, because I'm glad you brought that up. So, two parts to this. You got to give credit to the Avs for their structure.
Absolutely. They gave the Kings nothing in the second 40 minutes, or the last 40 minutes, I should say.
So somewhere, somehow, your structure, the way you wanted to attack the game, your players had good reads. It certainly didn't start that way, in the game. But you also have to look at the LA Kings and pull your hair out a little bit and go, why were they so stubborn with their game? There was so many times it's not there on the rush. All they have to do is lay pucks a little behind, go work down the. I think LA Kings wanted the easy game. That's what it looked like to me.
Yep.
You say it all the time. You can only play the game that's in front of you. Can't blame the Avalanche for playing the game that
no, absolutely
the way the
not.
Kings wanted to play the game. You know what I mean? So, but your structure was there. I mean, it was awesome. Again, if you're a coach, you watch this and you're like, all right, that's kind of close to perfection. You know what I mean? When you're talking about one side, I mean, of course they would like to do different things offensively, but they ended up scoring more goals than the other team. Yep. And the best players again. I'm talking about world-class plays by Makar. You're talking about Mikko. Somewhere, somehow, A+, because it's your third straight home game. You come up on the victory. You're plus, you're above 500 for the first time this year. Lots of positives, right? And then was it electrifying if you're someone that went to Ball Arena tonight and you were, lifted off your seat? Probably not.
No,
it was
not the most exciting game
different
of all
type
time,
of game.
for sure.
Different type of game, you know what I mean? Like, if this was your first game ever, you might not be hooked with hockey, you know what I mean? Like,
not the one you would show a new fan.
Yeah,
for sure.
But, again, it was a masterpiece defensively because just the numbers don't lie. I mean, look, that's impressive.
Yep.
You give up 0 shots. I know there was one that hit the post, but still, okay, one. Give him one. Let's say it would count because a post. You give up 1 shot in the period. That's pretty amazing.
They gave up 0.
I know. I'm just saying. But people say, "Oh, a shot on net is post is a shot on net." It's not. So it's 0. But you give the opposition 0 shots on net. That's pretty amazing.
It's funny because don't get me wrong. You and I are hockey degenerates. We watch a lot of hockey that isn't just the Colorado Avalanche.
Yes.
But at times, our job is ultimately to cover the Avs, and we may get too wrapped up in talking about things like the Avs overpassing and maybe not shooting as much as we like. I think it was somewhat true in the first period today, but you watch the Kings through the second and third period, and you're like, oh, other teams do that too.
Boy, were they stubborn tonight. I mean, they got in, and then they had the open lane, and then they're throwing that seam pass across, and you're like, what? It's fine when your execution is there and you're feeling the game, and then you're putting pucks in empty nets.
But you have 0 shots on goal in the last 25 minutes, and you're throwing pucks through the seam instead of shooting.
And again, this is not a crack at Georgiev. But the way he started the game, I would have been peppering with 25 shots in the first period because I'm like, wow, this guy's not seeing it. You know what I mean? After that first goal.
Yep.
So credit to the Avs. They locked it down. And thank you, LA Kings. My visit this morning, I had a bag of money Had to see old friends and
Must
I
be
paid them
nice.
off. And I said, you guys go home tonight with all the 2 points. They took $5 each from me.
Wow, pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah. Friends in high places.
Let's actually get into the game here.
Yep.
Look, when do the slow starts start becoming a serious problem for this Avs hockey team? Because it's been a number of games in a row now and a number of games over the course of this season where 2 minutes into the hockey game, you're in a hole.
Boy, I mean, you'd like to be able to pinpoint it why, because you can pinpoint how, because right, because you see the breakdowns, you see the,
Sure, but
but the
we're talking
why.
about multiple
We're talking about,
first 2 minute goals.
That's my point.
Like,
And we know why, so we know how because of the breakdowns.
I mean, the one isn't that complicated tonight. Georgiev just doesn't track a puck and it ends up in the back of his net.
No.
But it's more complicated than just that, right? Especially when it's been happening consistently so far this season.
That's what I'm saying. It's the why that I'm having a hard time to find out. You know what I mean? Like, so it's why is that? And you're right. That will bite you in the butt. It will. It just will. And those are habits that once they creep into your games, they're hard to get rid of. You know what I mean? Wants to become like a little streak, right? Because this isn't, like you said, it's been multiple times. This is not bad luck and a bad play in one game. So you have to correct that. I don't know what you do. You know me, it's all about habits and routine. And so I don't know who the resident DJ in the room is, but maybe you switch up the last two songs. Maybe if the stereo goes off at 6:10, then you change it up and it goes off at 6:20. You know what I mean? And then you just kind of change it up a little bit. And then whoever is supposed to be going out first besides the goalie, then you switch it up. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds stupid, but trust me, it just helps. It helps with your mental. You got to change a couple things up. You know what I mean? Or if you're the coach, if you go in at 2 minutes, then you go in at 3 minutes, and then whatever. It's just not. They just get on the ice and they're just not flying. You know what I mean? The way they're supposed to. So those are bad habits. Those are things you really have to clean up. And once you do it one game, then you do 2 games, then you go 3 games. So now it's a streak. Now it's a habit, as we know, and then you're back to normal. But you don't want to be known as a team that falls asleep really
For sure.
when it starts. And you want to make sure that, and it's happened a lot last year and this year,
It has.
And again, this is not just gear; it's anybody. Goaltending, you want to make sure you're sharp off the. But you don't want to fall behind. You don't want to give, a goal against, or even the other day they don't give up a goal. But against Carolina, it was like 8-10 shots to nothing, right? They end up winning the game. You know what I mean? But you're not going to get away with it every night. They got away with it tonight. They got away with Carolina. Why? They do have the best players in the world, 3 of the top 10 players in the world. That kind of makes it nice. You know what I mean? And we'll talk about it, but when you grab the puck and you make a play like Mikko Rantanen, that turns the game on a dime.
Right.
Like, you're talking about a half a second there. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? So you know that maybe that's why. Maybe that's why, because they do rely on, they know that they're never out of it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Which, even though that it's not a right reasoning, it should be wrong. It should be like, stop doing that, like a 2-year-old, you know what I mean? But then he's like, nah, but I can do it because I'm fine.
Well, that's not an excuse for the slow starts, but I do think it is a valid point that the Avs are a good enough team that you feel confident if they just keep it close, they'll be fine.
And on top of it, it's a mindset. They do have championship mentality, right?
Absolutely. Even with the slow starts, look at these last 4 games. Slow starts, but they never quit. They keep battling and battling and battling, and guess what? They usually win because of it.
More cowbells. But what I'm trying to say is exactly what you just said. And when you are a young group, maybe the Avalanche 5 years ago, you would tend to panic a little bit, and where there's no panic in their game ever.
Yep.
There's a sense of urgency, you know what I mean? But, like today, first period, okay, I'm sure in the locker room they're like, boys, we got to have a little bit more urgency here. You know what I mean? And then they come out in the second, and with the help of the LA Kings, well, Avs won't take all the credit, but obviously with the way they played the game, all of a sudden they outshot them, 13-0 in the second period, whatever it is. You win the period 2-1 at home. you go into the third period with a 1-goal lead, and what do you do when you're in the lead championship aspiration team? You go close out games, and that's what they did.
It's
simple.
If you look at the first period in a vacuum, I think you have a lot of problems with this game. If you look at this game as a whole, I think you feel pretty darn good about it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I know the first period didn't end up great for Colorado, but do give them a little bit of credit for getting that goal back relatively quickly, the first one. The Avs top stars go out there and they find a way to score a goal. Mikko getting the assist on that one. So, by the way, a 4-point night for that guy. We'll get to him in a little bit. But bits and pieces of it, you can see it start coming back together for Colorado. And you expect it to get better as they get guys back for Friday and going forward.
And again, if you, AJ's not lurking in the chat, he's probably writing his studs and duds. And you know what I mean? Like, one of his duds will be what? The power play.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was the power play killed the Avs in the first period.
And again,
it killed them.
One of the best power plays in the league. Some elite talent. But tonight, not on top of it. They weren't good. They could have sank them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it didn't. Thank God.
It wasn't just bad. It actively was terrible.
It was like, one time they didn't even get in.
On their third power play, they didn't even get set up.
I don't think it was show. They didn't get set up.
And they had 2 in the first period where it felt like, hey, this was a chance to grab this game by the horns. And instead, they did nothing. And that ultimately leads to them losing any momentum and LA getting that second goal in the first period and them falling behind again.
And on top of it, like I said, I am not taking anything away from the Avs at all, because I'm the one that always says you can't use excuses for injuries, but boy, oh boy, I'm using it as an excuse this year. I mean, they could be like 17-0 if it wasn't for for injuries. I'm being honest. I mean, somehow, God, they have just been bad luck. And but on a game like tonight, sometimes there's puck luck and all that kind of stuff. Tonight, you just have to thank the hockey gods, maybe, of for some reason, like LA was stubborn with their entries. LA was stubborn with their power play too. It wasn't very good. You know what I mean? So I think everything kind of went well and kind of started rolling on the side of the Avalanche. You know what I mean? And again, you give up, what is it, 14?
This is 15.
15. You give up 15. I mean, man, you can't give up 15 in a period regularly in this league. You know what I mean? They give up 15 the whole game. So you did some stuff right. A lot of good stuff. And again, I'm the first one to talk about home record, and they needed to use that home stretch not stretch, but that home sequence of 4 games to get themselves back in. Right away, Rudo, I talk about small victories. They've won the homestand.
Yep. 3-0 on the homestand.
3 on the homestand. No matter what happens Friday, they're 3-0.
Yep.
They're either going to go 4-0 and zip it, or they're going to go 3-1, and it's like, wow, okay, great. Before going on the road right now, nice little road trip, a lot of road games right here next 2 weeks. We kind of situated ourselves with all the problems that we have with the injuries back to above 500 at home, above 500 in the standings. So there's a lot of positives to look at. And what? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it. People are going to keep talking about it. Sounds like a lot of reinforcement for Friday night against Washington Capitals.
I do want to get into a couple of these goals, and I promise we have a lot of positive things to say about the Avs through the rest of this show.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into all of that. But first, we are brought to you by the folks over at Toyota. Go get yourself to your local Front Range Toyota dealerships today. Get in with them and get yourself a vehicle that can take you anywhere. 17 different all-wheel drive vehicles, 16 different hybrids if you're looking to save gas, whatever type of vehicle you're looking for. Trucks, sedans, SUVs, hybrids, rollovers, I don't know, crossovers, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't know. It'll protect you if you do roll over, but drive safe. Don't do that. Go get with the Toyota, the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche and the official vehicle of us here at DNVR. Make sure you stop in at your local Front Range Toyota dealerships today, wherever that may be, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood, the official vehicle of DNVR. And once you got yourself a Toyota, make sure you go get yourself a little bit of money. Did Svetch score tonight? I didn't see.
Not.
Unfortunate. Can't hit all the bets. You did hit any Mikko bets you hit tonight, though, I bet. He got an assist. He got a hat trick.
I didn't take that. I laid off Mikko because I'm like, he's too hot lately. Yeah, great one.
He was exactly the right amount of hot tonight.
That's right.
Do it with Bet365, though, whether it's betting on Mikko or emotional hedging and betting on the other team, or not betting on hockey at all, whether it's basketball, football, or any other sport under the sun, you can bet on it with Bet365. When you sign up, make sure you use the DNVR365 code to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up with it, and you'll get 2 months of Altitude Plus on top, as they're now official partners with the Nuggets and Avalanche too. So go get with Bet365 today. Jump on it with that DNVR365 code. There you go. You can see all the great stuff you get thanks to Bet365 on screen now. Of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. One last bit about the first period here. Eric, I thought you said something very interesting. Well, I don't know about interesting.
I'm sure. But smart.
On the Avs'
logical.
Second goal that they give up against the LA Kings, you said number one problem, communication.
Yeah.
What is that conversation like at practice or at the locker room or whenever they have it? How do you fix the lack of communication on a goal like that where you leave a guy undefended on the back door?
Well, you know what? It's like it's like I say all the time. If it was easy, it would never happen, right?
Sure.
You know, and it's like you talk about it, you learn from it, you know. But when you're in the heat of the moment, when things happen, and then there's a glaring breakdown like there was, I don't remember. We'll talk. I mean, I'm sure you'll talk about it on your breakdown. Go see Rudo's breakdown every night, just so you're aware of. He does an unbelievable job breaking down the goals, goal by goal. But there's a breakdown, and two mistakes don't compound one, right? You know, there's two wrongs don't make it right.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And that's easier said than done. That's not just it's anybody. And then you think you're doing right, and then panic sets in your brain. If you're tired, you have the end of your shift. It's even worse because there's no oxygen getting there. So whenever you're thinking clearly, it's not happening. So then you're like, wow, what a bonehead play. What was he doing? Exactly. He had no oxygen to his brain. Didn't know what he was doing. So he did not know what he was doing. So all of a sudden you see a breakdown, you panic. Oh, you run. And then guys sometimes, like, even though you want to communicate and everything, you just don't know what to say because you're like, what's he doing? You know what I mean? And then you're like, by the time you figure out what he's trying to do, then you're like, oh, maybe I'll just go this. Then it's too late. Then there's a bang, bang, bang. And again, Kopitar makes a sick play there. And then Kempe just puts it in. But, yeah, communication is key. I think experience is key. And then you got to make sure you calm under pressure. You know what I mean? There's always that saying in life, right? But it's easier said than done. Like, I know that when there's a scoring chance against and all you hear is Tiff yell, "Ah!" Like, you know what I mean? Even though she's like, right? You know, it's easier said than done. Now, you don't want to panic, but it just sets in. It sets into your nerves. It sets into your game. So it's hard. But I think, like you said, communication is key. And you can tell that there's definitely a breakdown in communication on a play like that. And then made them pay.
You said it. There's more than one. The initial play, Taves reverses it behind his own net, expecting Makar to be there, but Makar is cut in front of his own net, trying to shortcut it a little bit. That causes the initial turnover. And then the follow-up play, you have essentially a three-way breakdown where the Avs structure falls apart. You end up with both defensemen on the far side of the ice. You also end up with Ivan trying to cheat behind his own net to get in the passing lane. So when Kempe cuts back, Ivan is completely out of position.
Yeah.
And if that was supposed to be how the play ran, then Kovalenko needs to be covering on the back door, and Kovalenko does not come down and help out on the backside.
And fortunately, like we talk about all the time, it's a game of mistakes. That was a big one. Actually, few mistakes, like you just said. Very nicely elaborated on the mistakes there. But fortunately for the Avs, they didn't make that many the rest of the night.
They did not.
I mean, that's
they
pretty. Like I said, they were so awesome. And again, it's not being negative. It's just talking the fact on that goal. There was a lot of negatives there. But other than that, it sounds like they, buttoned up their chin straps and went to work after and really gave up nothing.
You had a bad first period. It's something to think about. It's something to fix. You gave up 6 shots the rest of the game. You gave them one real dangerous chance.
I think
and
there's
they hit
2
the
or
post
3 of them for like outside the blue line.
Yeah, you're right. The Kings didn't play very well, but the Avs cannot play defense much better than that for the second 2 periods.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a Kings fan, you're like, oh my God, they were terrible. If you're an Avs fan, you're like, oh wow, where they stingy defensively. You know what I mean? So,
And if both things are
ways to-
true, yeah.
both things can be true. Yes.
So, look, the Avs are putting together, process-wise, something that I think is very important for championship caliber teams. And I'm not saying the Avs' current lineup is championship caliber, but by Friday night it might be.
Yep.
One of the most important things about the best teams in the league, they can win the game they're in. And I know they say that phrase a lot, but let me explain what I mean. The Avs, in a perfect world, want to play run and gun hockey. They want to play high octane. They want to get breaks. They want to play fast, go up and down the ice a lot, and outskate teams.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that one Mikko goal was nice with the stretch pass, but for the most of the night, the Avs said, we'll sledge it up with you, and we'll do it better than you, LA. And they did. They went out and gave LA nothing, grinded out the goals they needed to, and won this game.
And that gives you a lot of confidence as a team. I think it gives you a lot of ammunition as a coaching staff to the rest of the team. I think it gives you a lot of ammo as a coach to the leadership group. You know what I mean? When things don't go well, you can go back to this game and say, hey, look, what'd you say? Sludged it up? We sludged it up right here. But when the time came, Mikko, did you get points tonight? Oh, yes, I got a hat trick. Awesome, yeah. Cale, did you get you know what I mean? Oh, yes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Mac, what Mac get? 3, 2?
Just 3? Well, is it
Just
3 or 2?
3, like,
Yeah, no, you got
just
3.
3.
You got 3.
There you go. So, the guys, we sludged it up as a team, but did you get your points? And I'm not saying guys want their points. I'm saying that's how they're built. Those 3 players are built on bringing offense and bringing points. So, of course, they want their points. They'd be lying to you if they don't want. Nate McKinnon will go 4 games without a point, and trust me, he's not going to be smiling. Not that he smiles at practice, but he won't be smiling at practice. You know what I mean? Because at the end, that's his job. His job is to produce, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's a lot of positive things for the coaches, positive things for the group, the leadership group, and then you win hockey games that way. You don't win hockey games on. Again, if the other team tells you like, "Hey, let's play run and gun,"
The Avs will open it up in a heartbeat. They don't
you
mind.
would be a moron. No, I mean, with the weapons that you have, it's like, no, let's just play in the sandbox. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're good. Thank you. Of course, you don't want, but no team in the National Hockey League ever has a scouting report, comes back, and they sit with the team down and they go, we're going to open it up against that team today. We're going to play run and gun. Yeah, that would be 0 out of 31, right? You know what I mean?
But it's good to win in multiple ways. Some nights, you want to impose your will on the game and play your style. Some nights you have to play the style of your opponent and you have to do it better than them. And the Avs did that tonight.
And then add to my point that I was saying 2 seconds ago to follow up with yours there is, that's why when you play with the lead, you're forcing the other team, you know, especially halfway through a game, if you're up by 2, not like tonight, but if you're up by 2, all of a sudden to say, oh, let's open it up. And then you know the Avalanche are going to crush you on a track meet.
Yep.
They just will. That's just will. They're
That's what they're built to
nobody
do.
has 3 of the top 10 players in the league. Nobody. Avalanche are the only team. I don't care if you're a fan from Winnipeg, here or there, whatever. It's a known fact. Rantanen, Makar, McKinnon are 3 top 10 players in the National Hockey League, and they are rolling on all cylinders. And I got a question. Do we still want to trade Mikko? Or, I'm just saying. He's leading the league with 12 goals. Let's trade Mikko. Everybody's awesome.
I did want to talk a little bit more about Mikko Rantanen because he is our UC Health Live Extraordinary Player of the Game. A hat trick, a big hat, and a 4-point night as he was involved in all 4 of the Avs' goals. Look, the version of Mikko that the Avs are getting right now, forget top 10. The Avs might have the 3 best players in the NHL when Mikko plays like this.
I didn't want to sound biased, but you like to be biased, and so the chat can give it to you.
Look, I understand Connor McDavid is better than Mikko Rantanen, and I'm not trying to make that argument. But on any given night, Mikko could be the best player that night.
He is. He's the most. He's the most, and it's exciting. And when people say like, oh, yeah, they have no depth, the Avalanche, well, guess what? No offense to the depth that they have today in this lineup or the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. It just shows you that when you have the right top-end talent, you can win.
Yep.
You can win any game. They've beaten Carolina right now. They played the best game of the year against Winnipeg. They lost the game, but it easily could have been a win. So those 3 guys are fantastic. You are witnessing something that's incredible day in and day out. Cale right here. I do wash this shirt every day. I sleep with it. I bring it in the car. It's like my blanket. You know what I mean? So this guy makes plays like it's scary. You know what I mean? Like, and guess what? You know what the worst part is? I'll sidestep here for a second. When you're playing in the NHL, like if you're a good player, I mean, most players are good. I mean, all players are good. And if you want to stick around the NHL, then you know who you're playing. That shit at all times, you know who you're playing. That's why I get mad sometimes when it's like, how did you not know you were gonna get hit because you're playing against, I don't know, Jacob Trouba or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta know who you're playing against. So Cale Makar, every time he's on the ice, there's 5 dudes on the other team that are at the top of their game because they're like, I'm playing against Cale Makar. Holy cow, I better be on top of my game. And that's what he makes it so unbelievable because he beats the 5 guys on top of their games you know what I mean? Yep. And that's why it's so fantastic. That's why he is the best player on the planet.
We did hear from Mikko Rantanen after the game, so let's see what he had to say from the locker room.
Cale had a great pass on the breakaway, so guys are making plays around me, and I just try to shoot it and finish tonight.
2 weeks ago, nothing was going in for you. Now everything's going in. Do you feel like you're doing anything differently, or is it just pucks are starting to go in?
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I always try to play the same way, not change much things. Sometimes you just get, in the right positions at the right time more than maybe sometimes when you're not going your way. I don't know the reason why that happens sometimes, but, like I told when I was, not scoring as much, you go through a cold stretch, you feel like nothing's bouncing your way, and then you go these stretches where sometimes you don't even feel like you played that well, and you get the right spots and pucks going in. So, but we'll take it. It's as long as we can win games and I can help the team win, it's good.
Walk me through your breakaway goal. Cale's pass to you. How did you pick your spot?
Yeah, great pass. First of all, I was able to come from the bench. They had a turnover high in the O-zone, and I cut my route. Great pass by Cale, and then, high speed. The D was right behind me, so I don't think I had too much time to think about a move or a deke. So I just tried to go blocker side, and this time went in. So it was good, big goal for us.
What was the team doing so well defensively in the second period to disallow LA from registering a shot on net?
Yeah, well, I don't think we were not happy with the Nashville, defensive game. How we played against Nashville, even though we won the game. But so we talked about it. We got to get back on track on the defensive side, and I feel like we did a better job again today. We were really good in the D zone. They didn't have a lot of D zone time, and that's why they didn't have any shots on net in the second. So really good team effort.
Coach had talked about a little bit of lack of energy last game. Did you feel like the energy was higher in this game?
I did, yeah. Other than maybe, they talk about the starts in the first or starts of the game at home, and we haven't been really good this year. And they scored the first shift, so obviously it's a kind of punch in the gut right away. I think we were able to reset and get a quick goal back, which I think helped the momentum to shift our way again. But it was better. I think we could still be more on our toes, not to give up the first goal again.
You broke a franchise record in assisting on a goal with Nathan McKinnon now as a duo, the most of any in Avs and Nordiques history. What about the connection that you two share has allowed you to work so well year after year?
Yeah, well, it's like chemistry. It kind of builds through the years, and I remember playing with Nate my rookie year. I could feel right away, we think the game a lot of similar way, and obviously with his strengths, maybe our strengths, complement each other pretty well. That's why maybe the chemistry is good, but I enjoy playing with him for sure. Best player in the world, and making it easy for me. So I'll just try to make the right plays and help him produce and produce myself too.
Is there any different feeling around the room knowing that Friday you guys are potentially going to get 3 really important players back in the lineup?
Yeah, it's obviously exciting to hear that, with the guys we're going to get back, and 3 guys who are going to go out, probably deserve to play, but this is the, NHL, and there's hard competition who's going to play, and we have 3 really good players coming back, so But I gotta say, the guys who are going out, you know, they play really good, whoever they are. So I want to thank them.
Some really great wins at home. Some a little gritty, but really great. How do you guys keep up that momentum, knowing that you might get those players back?
Yeah, it's important, you know. Home ice, we haven't been good this year, especially in the start. Now it's been a little bit better, after those first few games. But yeah, it's important to win home, because obviously away games are tougher. You know, you don't have the home crowd behind you, and we try to keep it rolling now. You know, we're doing a good job. I feel like last 4 games we played 3 really good games, so try to repeat it period after period.
Mikko, going back to your last note, are you happy you're the one that's not making the decision for players who have to come out when the new guys come in?
Oh yeah, I'm so happy. You know, I don't think I will, after career, I don't think I will coach, because I don't want to make those decisions. So I'll do something else.
Yeah, thanks, Mikko.
So a couple of near misses with the Avs' health tonight, too. You had Nathan MacKinnon, looked like he went knee-on-knee with a teammate there. Turned out he was okay. Calvin DeHaan takes a puck to the helmet. Turns out he was okay. Good thing that they were near misses. But make sure you don't miss when it comes to your health with UC Health, especially us men. Look, sometimes it can be hard for us to admit something's hurting. We try to tough it out all the time. You got to be taking care of yourself. They recommend you go get a checkup every 1 to 3 years up to age 64. And then after that, you should really be getting a checkup every single year. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, and not just your physical health, but your mental health, your sleep health, whatever else it might be. If there's something bothering you, make sure you go get it checked out. Even if you're feeling healthy, you should probably go get screened for things depending on your age and whatever might be going on with you. So get with UC Health right now. Let's talk about your tomorrow. Join the men's health conversation at uchealth.org/men's health. And once you're sure you're taking care of your health, you want to make sure you're taking care of your eyeballs too. Don't be staring straight into the sun like an idiot. Go get yourself some sunglasses with Shady Rays. Shady Rays offers the highest quality sunglasses for a great price, and you can get even more off their sunglasses when you use code DNVR to get 35% off any pair of their polarized sunglasses. You can use their polarization to get your colored sunglasses whatever color you want, whether it's Avalanche colors, Broncos colors, Nuggets colors, you name it. They have hundreds of different choices for everyone. And if you want, they even have prescription sunglasses if you need to be able to see. So jump on with Shady Rays. Join over 300,000 people that have given them 5 stars. And the coolest part is when you get a pair of Shady Rays, if you don't like them, break them, or lose them in the first 30 days, they'll replace them for completely free. So use that DNVR code and get 35% off at shadyrays.com today. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, and we have our man in the arena, Gizmo. It looks like you're chill maxing today, Giz. A pretty good one, huh?
I have my own dressing room lounge now. I've stepped up in the world. I'm still in the arena, but I have like my own suite now in the arena. So I'm living life. It just keeps getting better and better for the Colorado Avalanche and DNVR Avs.
Do we have to call you Mr. Gizmo now? Is that?
I would appreciate that. Yeah, and no direct eye contact. And, I'm going to really need you to make sure the next time I'm on set, that water is chilled to 62 degrees, buddy.
All right. Perfectly tepid. Got it.
62 degrees. All right.
Is that a sauna behind you? Is there a sauna behind you? Are you going to
the
sauna?
The hot tub's on the right-hand side,
right.
And then I've got the cold tub here. The sauna's over there, and then what's that? I want the nigiri. Yeah.
Oh, must be nice.
How old is that champagne? No, I want the older bottle. People, we'll get it figured out. It won't be a big deal.
Do the Avs even need the hot tub and the cold tub tonight? They only give up 15 shots, Gibbs. How much better can you be defensively?
You know, what a great job in the second period, and I think that kind of sort of tells the story. They've got to figure out these starts, though. That's definitely frustrating and concerning. You can't keep doing that. I mean, I guess you can keep doing that if it leads to the effort that you see in the remaining 40 minutes, but it's a recipe that isn't going to completely work all the time. So figuring out what happens in that first period, I think, is essential. At this point, it's almost laughable that it happens. I mean, you can see it coming. I mean, it was a weird one, and it was a weird play, and you really need both goals. You need your defensive pairings to step up a little bit sharper on those. A little bit preventable. Georgiev definitely not the sharpest on that first one, no question about that. A good bounce back. That second period was incredible. I honestly, I was trying to think, and Eric, maybe you could tell me. I don't recall the last time I saw a team go shotless in a period. I can't remember one in person, maybe back in Chicago, but it's been a while since I've seen a team hold their opponent to 0 shots.
Yeah, it's certainly something you don't see a lot. Obviously, the Avalanche is, 3 times in their franchise?
Yep.
I was reading earlier, 3 times. So, I mean, you do see it. I'm not saying you see it a lot.
Right.
But it blows my mind when I see it, because I was telling Rudo, I was yelling at the end of the second period, like, at the LA Kings guy. He's crossing the red line. He's got an easy path, and then he dumps it in. I'm like, you have 3 seconds left. You're not going to retrieve the puck.
Put it on net.
Put it on net, and then you can erase that. Oh, we were one of the teams that got 0 shots on net in the period. And I was like just dying. I'm like, oh my God, it was a clear path. Just dump it on net. Then you get the one. Then people don't say, score shotless. So anyway.
Right. And then the only other thing, the only other weird thing about that was the Kemper injury.
Yeah.
And he went off immediately. He knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't stop, didn't collect $2, didn't pass go, just went right to the room. So probably, from what I'm hearing, maybe a growing injury, but a little bit of a lucky break there as well for Colorado.
Yeah, you never want to see anyone get hurt, but
No.
the Avs were able to take advantage of the situation. Mikko scores on the first shot on net against David Rittich, and that ends up being the game-winning goal. So while you don't love it, you don't apologize for the breaks if you're the Colorado Avalanche.
You've been
Correct.
sitting there for a few. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, especially early in the season, or I guess it's not really that early in the season anymore, but still a situation where you're looking for some lucky breaks, right? You've had some bad puck luck and some tough bounces, and now when you're getting things like that happening for you, you're kind of like, okay. And now you're heading into the Washington Capitals on Friday, and you're getting 3 more bodies back, most certainly. Yep. So not a bad time to win a hockey game against a team that's very good. I mean, this is a strong Los Angeles hockey team.
Yeah, there's some games in hand things going on, but they're at the top of the Pacific Division, and the Avs went out and didn't just beat them, really dominated them for at least the last 40 minutes of this game. It's hard to even nitpick a whole lot from this game if you're Colorado beyond that first period, which you already talked about. Again, as a team, I don't know how much better defensively they can play once they woke up and decided to start playing.
Yeah, the only thing defensively for me, as we just talked about, was those first 2, right? Mistakes made on both of them, especially on the second one. The first one, Gorgiev's got to come up with that save. The second one, nothing he's going to do about that one, I don't think. But I do like the commitment of those guys. And again, people roll their eyes at me, but the third pairing was really good again. I mean, last game, Dahan had a big play to help, save a goal. Really, truthfully, was on the goal line there. And then today, got himself right in front of that, blocked that shot, took one off the face. He's fine. He's good. No worries at all there. Luckily, it just caught his visor. So I just like the commitment of these guys early in the season, first 20 games of the season, and they're laying bodies out to block shots. There's a lot of commitment here, and I think that what that tells us is that room is buying into one another. The chemistry is strong amongst that group. They're having more fun now. They're a little bit more easygoing. They're relaxed, and they're smiling. I walked down the hallway after the availability and was walking with Sammy Girard for just a minute. It's all smiles right now by these guys, and it should be, because they're pulling off something pretty cool with a nominal roster that's about to get bolstered.
I got a 3-part question for you here, Giz.
I love those.
Well, really, it's
those are no-nos.
1-part question with 3 answers. It's okay. We're in the clear. Would you rather have the NHL points leader, the NHL goals leader, or the NHL defenseman points leader?
We got all three.
I'll take all 3, baby.
Yeah, because that's what the Avs got. That's what the Avs have right now. But specifically, I wanted to get your thoughts on Mikko Rantanen as a guy who, over this stretch of wins for the Avs, seems to really be the one stepping up.
Here's the thing that's been fun for me, Rudo. This is the 4th NHL team I've been very lucky and blessed enough to work for, and every team is different. The dynamic is different. The guys are different. The makeup is different. What I'm learning about this group is that there's a lot of resilience, there's a lot of moxie, and there's a lot of get up and go. And I think the beauty of it is that it's not, as you just eloquently laid out with statistics, not one guy, and you're getting it at different times. It's like they pick up one another when they need to. You know, McKinnon and Makar came out and are still lightning hot, right? But you can't expect them to shoulder the whole weight the entire time. So then you have Ross Colton, who steps up, and he finds the net for a few, but he gets injured, so he's down. So now the pressure's back on Makar and McKinnon. They got to step up. And Rantanen hears the pitter-patter. He hears the oh, he's not producing. So what does he do? He turns it on. And the other guys help him, and they pick him up. And then Lehkynen gets back into the lineup. And that's why you saw that kind of funky pass on the empty net, because they were trying to take care of each other there. It was one guy raising the other guy up to make sure everybody's going and rolling and feeling good. And you have a team like that, that's teams that win the Stanley Cup. It is. That's teams that win the Stanley Cup. And I can say that because I saw it close personal firsthand with the Los Angeles Kings in 2012. Wasn't covering the team, but was lucky enough to be spending a lot of time with my close friends who were on that team. And it was the same vibe. They had a great time. One guy stepped up when the other guy slipped a little bit. And that's what you're getting from this group right now. You're getting a complete and total buy-in. They buy in to Bednar's message. They are bought into the locker room. They understood the assignment on the fact that they were going to have to do some stuff and pull some things off that maybe nobody thought they could in the first 15 games of the season and get to this point in November. But by the way, a November 15th date that we've had circled since the puck dropped on opening night. So the buy-in is great, and a byproduct is, rising tides raise all ships, and you've got a full locker room going right now, and they're having fun doing it.
Well, if we're going to stay on Rantanen, I do believe that I'm glad you're on right now here with us. Has the best coverage of the Avs that we do have, and we're not biased. I think we really believe it with AJ, covering all the writing pieces, and Rudo and I here with Tiff, carrying the watch along in the pregame, postgame, and you being at the arena. It's a great mix. But we've been talking about it all night, Rudo and I, and we always say we're showcasing people. You want to make sure they play well before you can trade them. So we came up with Mikko Rantanen. If the Avs can get a third-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2027, we would say press go to Chris McFarland to go get a third and a fourth round pick for Mikko Rantanen, according to what all the rumors we've had the last few weeks to trade Mikko Rantanen. So we want to know your opinion.
Do we have to put more people in the chat in concussion protocol or what? What's going on over there? Come on,
sarcasm.
People.
I want to make sure nobody clips me right there and says this is what the DNVR thinks. Mikko's the man. Mikko's one of my favorites. And boy, oh boy, when he takes over like he has right now, I agree with what we've been talking about the last 5-10 minutes. He's a world-class player, he's an elite player, and only leading the league in goal scoring in the NHL. Not a big deal. After scoring 1 in 8 or something like that. Pretty amazing.
It's pretty special. There's a couple special guys in this room, and it's cool to. It has not fallen short on me in all the years I've been doing this that you don't pinch yourself when you're standing there, asking these amazing hockey players questions and seeing the visiting guys come in. And tonight was a fun one. Tonight was a fun one for me for a myriad of reasons, including the big win by the boys.
A final one for you here, Giz. The Avs are finally above 500 at 9-8. You already talked about the bodies they're about to get back. Are they out of the woods here? Have they made it?
Yeah. I will say that. I'm a positive guy. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hockey and anything can happen at any given moment. One shot of the puck, one flick of the skate. I mean, obviously. But in my opinion, yeah, they are. And I think here's why I would say that even more so. They now have a belief system and proof in the pudding that even if they do have a little setback here and there with a guy, they know who can step up and they know they can step up and they know that they can still win games even when they're down 6 of their top 9 players.
It's really impressive, I think, when you look at the big picture for Colorado.
And hey, timeout. Give a lot of credit to the man that set the new record tonight. I give full marks
Absolutely.
to Jared Bednar.
Yep.
I mean, give that man all the trophies.
I'm in.
That is that is a guy that I would play for. That is a guy that these guys clearly play for. He's a fantastic coach. It would be hard to pull this off without a guy like that who has the room's trust behind the bench.
Amen to that. Giz, thank you for coming on. Chat, thank you for 100 likes. We're going to do our winner shots now. Giz, yours is sitting on top of the bar, so we'll see you
Solid.
in a bit of time.
I'll see you shortly.
Yep, can't wait. Chat, thank you again for the 100 likes here. Winner shots are the best. But you know what else is pretty cool? Performance. We all know Lehky has a good stick on the ice, right?
Good stick, Lehky.
We all know everybody wants a good stick. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Make sure you go get with Blue Chew. It's not just about first impressions. It's about lasting impressions. Blue Chew will get you there in the bedroom. Make sure you're going and getting with them. You can get a free month trial with code ALLCITY with Blue Chew. Of course, Blue Chew is a fantastic product for everybody. Look, it just makes everybody happier. If you know what I'm saying, everybody wins. So jump in with Blue Chew today. Make sure you're getting on board. You can go get with them at bluechew.com today. It's an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost in a chewable form. Does it work? Don't think you need it? Try it for a month. Again, we're giving you a month free with code DNVR. That special deal is a month free and only $5 shipping at checkout at bluechew.com with promo code ALLCITY. So jump in at bluechew.com for more details and important safety information, and we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Once you've taken care of that, you might want to sit back, relax, and then chill a little bit. Go get yourself a Coors Light, whether you just scored a hat trick or, you just finished using your Blue Chew. Either way. Whatever works. It's the beer literally made to chill. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can. You saw me drinking it during the game tonight, and the Avs barely gave up any shots. So if you're a superstitious person, maybe you should drink a Coors Light during the game and good things will happen. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a superstitious person, but I do think Coors Light is good. So jump in with Coors Light. Go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR today and get it delivered right to your front door thanks to Instacart. If your superstition is staying on the couch before the game, you can still get a Coors Light. Again, CoorsLight.com/DNVR for Instacart free delivery. Well, I don't know if it's free to your front door. Sometimes free if you have the subscription deal. Yeah, my wife and I order stuff a lot, so we have subscription deals to everything, and it's all free shipping. Jump in with Coors Light, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly. Last period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. The other thing I wanted to mention about Mikko, only player in the league with 2 hat tricks this year.
And we're at game 18.
And we are
17.
at game 17, just finished up. Game 17.
I mean, he's beat me right there in 18 games. I mean, I did have one, in my career.
One.
Yeah, but a lot of players have never had it.
That's true.
But I'm pumping my own tires there. But just to put it in perspective, it's like he's had 2 in 17 games.
He has 9 in his career.
Pretty sick. But he is a streaky guy. We all know that. He is a streaky guy. But when he gets hot, oh my God, look out. And right now he is hot. I know what I'm doing for my Bet365 net game. I am pressing, just like when you're in Vegas and you're on a streak. You press, you press, you press. I'm pressing Mikko next game.
Hirvi on Irti?
Was that?
Hirvi on Irti? Apparently means moose is loose.
Oh my God, I was like, what are you talking about? Like
our chat was saying it. I know you can't read it.
I know it's like I'm old. It's midnight, and it's like after midnight. I should be in bed with my warm milk and like a little blanket. Funny. But, and I was like, what is he talking about there? I was like, I thought I was starting to get like, my brain was like not all there. But that was funny. So the moose is, what do you say? Yeah.
Hirvi on Irti.
Hirvi on Irti.
The moose is loose.
The moose is loose.
P.S. Good Stick Lucky shirt, also brand new, if that's your thing. He scored tonight as well. Go get it. Go buy it at the ALLCITYNetwork.com store.
All right. I'm going to be stupid here, and I'm going to be looking forward to something, but Is that amazing what Lehky does when he comes to a lineup, though?
I know. He's the fixer, man. He's the fixer.
It's amazing. I would have given a first-round pick for that guy. I know teams would have. C-Mac, he should have waited a little longer. Well, actually, no. He's not. Sorry, not C-Mac. Who traded him at that time was Montreal, but who was the GM at that time?
Yeah, I mean, C-Mac was the AGM.
That's
so
what
he
I'm
was
saying. No,
part of
but
it.
I mean, like,
Oh,
what
in
I'm
Montreal?
saying, like Montreal. Like,
Is it still Bergevin? I don't know.
it was Bergie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bergie, you should have waited a little bit. Maybe C-Mac would have given you a first for him. So many teams were lined up to have him, especially before a postseason. I remember people were so mad the Avalanche got him. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people would say, I would have given a first. I would have given up a first. If guys like Blake Coleman, guys like, what's his name there, Tampa gave up for a few years in a row for first-round picks.
I mean, Coleman was one of them.
Well, Coleman, then it was, what's his name?
I forget.
Barclay Goodrow.
Yeah, Goodrow, you're right.
You know.
And then it was Trennan, or not Trennan, but
Tanner Geno.
Geno.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
I'm just
Which
saying.
that one didn't work out as well.
No, it didn't
but-
work out. But my Lord, again, we talk about C-Mac and Joe and those guys, man. That was a great trade by the Avalanche. A pivotal one to give them that Stanley Cup there a couple years ago. But you just see when he's not there and you see when he's there, like the last 5 games, man, oh man, does it make a difference.
2 more things I want to touch on. Number one, that empty netter, Giz kind of mentioned it. I get that it's hockey player nature to be unselfish
Yeah.
and pass the puck. Just put the puck into the empty net, man.
I just saw it again. Here's my thought on it. Because Mikko's not afraid to shoot the puck in the empty net, as we know. And he's probably the best at him. Like, from anywhere. He could be like 200 feet away, and it's like, I'll put it in. But I think it slides on him.
Yeah, okay.
I think,
Make a better play then.
well, okay. Well, I think it slid on him, and then it was like, oh, God. Then he didn't want to, like, make it look bad. He's like, okay, give it to Lehky, and then whatever. Lehky doesn't bury it. But he wasn't going to be denied twice, so. He does it again.
It worked
But
out
I know
okay.
what you're
It
saying.
worked out okay.
I
but
know what you're saying. I told you my story.
You did.
I had 18
You did.
one
Yeah.
year.
You gave it up and
18.
you
I had a
didn't get
bonus
another.
at 20.
Yeah.
There was 21 games left, and I gave it to John Clem on the right side, and it was the empty net, and I was like, oh, I'll be a good team guy. I still got 20 more games to reach 20. I went bagels, 0 for 20. So, yeah, you're right, Rudo. I agree with that point. Shoot the puck in the net.
put it in. The other thing I wanted to mention, Cale Makar tonight. I first of all, I don't want to glaze over, or rather, I guess I do want to glaze Cale for that pass on the game-tying goal. I mean, the dude puts it in a shoebox, like a 150-foot pass on the tape to Mikko, as Mikko makes a great read to cut around the defenseman, protect the puck, and then he's in, getting hooked, and finishes the play. But that play only happens because Cale Makar's built different.
Under pressure, being forechecked. As I already seen before, like what's going on, before even grabbing the puck. You give him the puck 10 times, he's Cale Makar. I bet you he hits the Moose there 9 out of 10. You give anybody else in the league that pass, I don't know, maybe the average is 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10, or 0 even. I'm just saying, you're right. He is built different. It's not normal. He is not human. It's special. I mean that. This is no sarcasm. Special. Day in and day out, you get to witness somebody like that. What is he, 25 years old?
24, 25, I forget when he
That is absolutely
yeah.
just wrong. Just wrong. He's got another 10, 12 years in his career. This is absolutely ridiculous. Can you imagine what else he's going to show us in those 10, 12 years? Like, it's absolutely just, it's ludicrous.
And
it just is.
The one specific play is amazing. That's his only point of the night. But there's something I want to point out. And this is something that true stars do in this league. Cale Makar was on the ice for both goals against tonight. Whether you think they're his fault or not, whatever. He was on the ice for 3 Avs goals for. The best players in the league, when things go against them, they find a way to get it back. Even if he's not necessarily getting an assist, even if he's not necessarily directly involved in the play, they find a way to be a positive impact on the game.
Make a difference.
Yep.
Make a difference. Be a factor. That's why we used to call Ryan O'Reilly, right? Factor.
Yep.
Well, of course, that Bill O'Reilly TV show, but but Ryan was a factor in games, and again, differently than Cale, but we're just talking about the nickname. But Cale is just, and when he has a bad game, which is so rare, and that he meets the media, wears it on his sleeve and on his heart, and just takes the blame, probably too much, and then he's going to bounce back with an absolute stellar game. So I think we've seen that, and I'll take a moment here to talk about my stat for before the game.
Yeah.
15-4-1. The Kings were, after a loss, the last since Jim Hiller took over as coach, and Rudo said it. Why not make it 15-5-1? And Rudo was right. It just had me worried. It didn't start the right way, but why not us, right? Mentality, and I think that's a little bit of what the Avalanche have conquered a little bit in these last probably 8-9 games, with a depleted lineup of more than ever. And I think they realized as a coaching staff, as players, as everybody, let's just worry about our own little niches. From goaltending on to to the defensive side, to the power play, to the top end superstars, and they've been able to string a nice set of victories right now.
Well, chat, Mikko was a one-man bukkake on the net tonight. Okay?
I can only imagine.
Let's get to the super chats and get out of here before I say something I shouldn't.
Walrus? Is that you, Walrus?
He's in there. I saw him in there.
Is he?
It's $2 from Degro, who says, "Winner's shot, love DNVR." Thank you very much, Degro. We appreciate all y'all hanging out in the chat. I know it's very, very late at night, so we appreciate it. There's like 270 of you or something in here. That's a crazy number for this hour. It's always fun to vibe and enjoy a hockey game and watch the Avs play well. So drop a like, hit a subscribe. We are live tomorrow for an off-day show, back to 2 p.m., so you guys have an extra 15 minutes instead of the 1:45 start. Make sure you tune in for that. Should be a fun one tomorrow. And then the game Friday, of course, we are taking over. So our post-game show on Friday will be very, very late, but we will be live Friday after the game too. So that's it. Come join us. Watch a game with Milan Hajduk. We appreciate y'all. We are out of here for the night. We will talk to you tomorrow. And I'm Hirvion Irti. Am I saying it right? I'm a dumb American. I only speak one language. I can't keep up with all these languages in chat.
I have two.
We'll talk to you in the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.